For as long as I can remember, I have been a hater of Glocks. Every time I've touched any friend's Glock, any friend's custom Glock, I've always shot it and been like, well, I have no need to own this whatsoever. That all changed when I met Agency Arms at SHOT Show, and they let me shoot one of their custom Glocks. At that point, I became a Glock fan. So much so that when I got home, I bought 2 Glocks and sent them to Agency Arms to get customized. And they were gracious enough to send me, in the meantime, a Urban Combat Glock 19 to demo. And that's the gun we're going to be talking about today, and a little bit about my experience with it and why it changed my mind so much and how it's just a completely different gun. But before we get started, I would like to definitely thank Agency Arms for helping me out, letting me borrow this gun, let me shoot it. And also, we also have a discount code from Agency Arms. It is DDG Glock, and that is 5% off, and it's off of the full custom builds or any parts if you want to get any of their compensators or anything like that. Got it covered. So definitely check Agency Arms out. Use that discount code. And I would also like to thank Big Daddy Unlimited and Fancy Brass Company for sponsoring the ammo for this shoot and any other upcoming shoots. So definitely check them out. All the links are going to be in my description, so make sure you go over there and check them out. And last but not least, I would like to thank Okeechobee Shooting Sports for letting us come down to their facilities and film. If you're in Florida, anywhere, East Coast, West Coast, Okeechobee Shooting Sports is right smack dab in the middle and has everything you need. Amazing gunsmiths, amazing staff, huge facilities. It is the mecca of shooting in Florida, and I highly advise that if you're visiting or you live in Florida, you make the trip out, you go out and shoot, make it a day. It's just a ton of fun, and they have everything you need and the friendliest staff. So definitely check out Okeechobee Shooting Sports for all of your needs. What made the Glock 19 from Agency Arms so special to me is that it didn't feel like a Glock. It didn't have the nasty Glock trigger. It didn't have the toy feel to it. While it was light, it didn't feel off like all Glocks do in my hands. It felt like something's made with love, something special. The Urban Combat Slide comes with weight reduction built into it, an Agency battle plate that you can take off and throw red dot on there, and your RMR and everything off there. You have your normal DNA collectors, and you get camphor serrations and front serrations, so you can quickly rack it and tack it from the front. And they weren't abrasive, they weren't sharp, they just felt good. The machining of them felt perfect, and the weight reduction felt balanced along the slide. Usually when you get weight reduction, one end's heavier than the other, and that wasn't the case for this. It was very balanced, and you definitely can tell they did a lot of research into where the weight reduction would be the best in the slide, and it felt like I could just put it on a finger and balance it perfectly. You don't get that with a lot of custom guns. A lot of custom guns, you'll see a weight reduction and it feels weird through the recoil. This Urban Combat Slide didn't. It felt perfect. It almost felt like I could run through the recoil and know exactly where my front sights are going to line up because of the weight. It was always consistent through the shot. Now, one of the awesome things that I really did like about it was the frame. The stippling on it was aggressive, but not too aggressive. Sometimes you'll get a weird stippling pattern to where it's just so aggressive that even if you EDC it and you carry it, your whole side's gonna get chafed like you're walking around with sandpaper, or your hands get all beat up. That wasn't the case. The missus is not a fan of stippling, and I actually let her shoot it a lot, and she saw how it was, and she was like, oh, my hands are gonna be all jacked up. After about a couple hundred rounds, she's like, I could keep shooting this. This isn't bad. I've had her shoot other guns with stippling and completely just tear her hands up. This wasn't the case with the Agency Arms Glock 19. This thing had just such a great stippling pattern. It felt good. You had a good grip, but it wasn't tearing your hands up like you get with a lot of other stippling. It was a really good stippling job, and I really liked it. The trigger guard undercut felt perfect for it. I could fit my finger in there, and it would just run the gun right there all day long, and it didn't feel like I was rocking the gun on my finger when I would run up in there. And the trigger guard, just the bevel in there, let me slide my finger in perfectly. I didn't feel a scrape or anything when I would put my finger into the trigger guard. And sometimes you'll get people that do those cuts, and it's kind of a sharp edge. Not with agency arms. When they did the bevels into the trigger guard, it was nice and smooth, no scraping, nothing like that. It didn't feel rough. It almost felt like it was a rounded edge. It didn't feel like it was a ramp or anything like that. It just felt good and clean. One of the other things I like, and this is kind of becoming a standard, is the accelerator cut. It's a nice little ramp right there. It's stippled. When you go thumbs forward, you put your thumb on it and you ride it, and it helps you bring the recoil down. And if you put the consistent pressure on it, your front sight will end up exactly where you want it to be every single time. So that mixed with just the overall feel of the gun and just how it ran allowed me to just kind of do things that I never really thought. I felt like I was shooting a tricked out 1911. For me, it was just a perfect blend of taking a Glock and throwing it to the next level. I never thought I would be a Glock owner, and after shooting this gun so much, I cannot wait to get my Glock back. They do so many different customizations to the Glock that it doesn't feel like a Glock, and that's what I like the most about it. The trigger. I've never been a fan of flat-facing triggers until I shot their flat-facing triggers. Now that's all I want to run on my guns. It's not going to be the same as an agency flat-face trigger, but I just want more of it. This gun ran through 2,000 rounds without cleaning, without oiling. I just got it out of the box and dumped 2,000 rounds through it. This is the first gun I've ever had go through that many rounds without a single malfunction. Zero, zip, none. I can't say that about any firearm in my collection. Every single one has failed at some point, whether it be the simplest failure or the most catastrophic, well, not the most catastrophic, but a catastrophic failure. This gun, it's a demo gun. It's used and abused. I didn't clean it, I didn't oil it. I threw 2,000 rounds through it in one single day. Not a single malfunction. That's something that's rare. To me, that's special. If I can abuse a gun that hard, and I've seen plenty of other of my friends' Glocks, custom or not, fail. But for this one to go through 2,000 rounds and not have a single problem, to me was amazing. This Agency Arms has sold me. They have made me a Glock fan. I cannot explain to you how crazy that is for me, the biggest Glock hater in the world, to all of a sudden owning 2 Glocks. That's a testament to what this company does. And the cool thing about it is, if you send in your gun to get them to do a customization, you can do a 50-50 plan. You pay 50% of the customization up front, and you pay 50% of it when it's done. So you're not shelling out all of it all at once. So that's a really cool plan. They have, guns that are already done and ready to go at dealers if you want. They have specific dealers. You can get parts for the gun. So say you get, a lower and you want to build your own Glock. You can get Agency Arms parts and put them in there. Their compensators are amazing. Their knock is amazing. Everything this company does is just awesome. I could run their guns all day long. And when I get my gun from Agency Arms, it will be my new everyday carry. I never thought I'd carry a gun without a safety, but I'm totally carrying their gun because it's just consistent, and when it gets in your hands, it feels like an extension of your body. There's no weirdness, there's no awkwardness to it. It's perfect. I've never really said that about a Glock, and to me, it's blowing my mind even saying it. I think they make the perfect Glock, and not so much so that I will run it, I will carry it. Anytime you see me doing anything with the rifle and I transition to a pistol, I guarantee you it will be an Agency Arms pistol on my hip. That is, for those of you who have known me for this long, that is a huge deal. But I highly advise everyone to check out Agency Arms. I will have everything down in my Discord, which is down in the description because YouTube doesn't let me do links. The promo code goes for parts and everything like that. So if you want to add, you got maybe a Poly 80 lower, you want to add some Agency Arms parts, that discount code works for you. It's good to go. They are an amazing group. I am a sold Glock lover. I am an Agency Arms fan because of the work they do with their pistols. The only issue I had with their demo gun, and this is something small and it's because of me and mind fucking myself, is they had, there were no dots on the rear sight. It was just a single dot on the front sight post. So for me, I've always ran a tri-dot setup. So for me, if you see any misses during this video, that's because I'm just basically mind fucked at this point, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with this optic or these iron sights. And that's on me. That has nothing to do with the gun. That was all my failures. But I will show you what this gun is capable of when I get my setup, because I have it built to what I'm used to, and this gun is going to drill some holes. They make such a good product. I cannot even, just can't even tell you. You guys need, if you have a Glock, you need to get parts. You need to get a custom build. This will change how you look at a Glock. So much so that, you know, it converted me. And that's saying something. From me going from a Glock hater to a Glock lover is a big freaking deal. But anyways, guys, make sure you check out some agency arms. I hope you guys like this video. We're going to be doing a lot more with agency arms and their Glocks because, you know, I got 2 on the way. So that just means 2 extra guns to go through. But anyways, boys, I'll talk to you later. Peace.